Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm currently in a city in Indonesia, and I've been traveling a bit, but I've been thinking about this thing. Recently, I've watched this video by a guy called Brett Deaf. So this guy is I'll put the link down below. This guy is American. I think it's British, and he's been saying he was originally from the UK, and he he's currently in Thailand. He says there are a couple of issues with the society that we just feel kind of we feel like when we come to when we go to country like Thailand, you're starting to realize what you've been taught in school, what you've been fed into the system is kind of like fake. What I mean by that is like, okay, this guy is saying, you know, he thinks that, I think he's a little bit extreme. He thinks that basically the system in the West is out to get you. Um, you know, the enforcers, the police, they're there to get your money. The parking ticket attendants, they just want to get their money. They have no, basically, they have not lost a sense of community in the West. And he said that in Thailand, people are still respecting each other, people are still having conversations, friendly faces, and largely, people are still living in a very human environment, I would say. Whereas like in the West, people are very individualistic, especially the Anglo-Saxon countries, and you know, everybody's stuck in a rat race to get ahead. It kind of feels a little bit that okay, we have some people here. Okay, it feels a little bit frustrating sometimes, and I've been thinking about that, and I think he's largely correct. As someone who has lived in the Asia, lived in China, in Hong Kong, and also who's lived in the West, in the UK as well, I think this point is a little bit exaggerated, but largely it's true. Because if you think about it, capitalist society, what does it care about? It care about money, right? Like, doesn't care about how you get the money a lot of times. I mean, like, you see some of the companies, they're like even worse than like it's like some of the companies, they treat you badly. It feels like even worse than back when I was in China in the communist era, when we, and back in the 90s, right? People don't have much freedoms, but even China is better sometimes. They're a lot of times better than the West. You can go out. I mean, it's not that you can't go out in the West, it's just like China a lot of times is you feel more free actually. Because in the West, I kind of feel a little bit people are kind of stuck to their mortgages. It's kind of people trying to do the rat race, and I largely see it's a true statement. So walking around this neighborhood, I mean, you can see houses around here. Everybody's like, and you have to see a river. Everybody's very community oriented. People talk to each other, and kids play around. None of the ego stuff. Like, oh, my house is bigger than yours. Yeah, sure. There's some big houses here, but I mean, alright, let's continue. So, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, Asians going. I mean, I understand when at 70 in the 70s, 80s, like if China when China was really poor, Asia was really poor. You had immigrated to USA, had a good life, and and the same, like actually my parents did that, and they worked hard, and but this was back in the 80s, right? Back in the 80s. The society now, the disparity between the rich and poor have grown a lot, especially in America and UK as well. Governments are short of funds, so they're trying to get as much money as possible from you, trying to take advantage of you, not parking tickets, things like that. And you feel like kind of most people, I would say, are trapped. Most people are miserable. And I guess, is there a way out? Maybe there is a way out. You can work to a better job. You can retire early. You can work hard and get a better career. But what I mean is it still worth it for Asians, or for, like, especially Chinese, especially Asian men, to immigrate to the West? I think it depends. I think if you're just gonna work at McDonald's, maybe there's no point. I mean, cashier at a retail shop, you might as well, stick it and stay in Asia, in Thailand. Remember, Asian men still don't have the advantages that Asian women have in the West, right? Like, how many times have you seen Asian men with a white girl? Or, like, how many times Asian men actually have been successful in the West? I haven't seen much. The ones I have seen, they're really successful, and they figured the system out. And either going to Colombia to finding a girlfriend, finding people in their social circles. They figure the system out. But for an average guy, Asian guy, I think there's a lot of problems, right? So is it worth it? I say, if you work in McDonald's, no. If you're making a lot of money, quite a bit of money, let's say, and you have a big career, working for a large company, I would say maybe yes, because you sacrifice your first few years, you get your experience, and then you can hopefully get expatriated to countries like Asia, in Singapore, these countries. And so that's it. That's my conclusion. We're just gonna have a quick look around the lush greens of Indonesia, and how lush it is. There's a river down there, and it's just so green, and feels very calm to walk around here. Freshens your mind, think about what to do with your life, especially when this COVID thing had kind of passed now. So a lot of people should be making their decisions, and I think COVID thing had taught us a lot about different countries, I guess. I mean, it's not that I'm saying that, like, countries like Thailand, Singapore, they're not making restrictions. They're also making restrictions, but I've found that people have I found that people sometimes they were a little bit more respectful with each other. I don't know if it's a racism thing in the West, sometimes maybe, but a lot of times I found that people didn't really have a sense of community in their mind. So that's it. Gonna film a bit more going around in Indonesia. So Java, Bali. Follow the channel if you want to. See what's out there. Get out of your room and The world is big, so see you. Thank you. Bye bye.